Hi Typicals, welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you how to install MySQL on a Windows machine. We will use this software as a database for any other programs I will create later on, which will be able to create a table. We will be updating fields, we will be deleting files, we will be adding records. So we'll be using this MySQL quite a lot for the next couple of videos. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go into Internet Explorer or Google Chrome or Google Mozilla Firefox, whatever you want to use, and we're gonna type mysql.com. So once we go in this, we are in this website, we're gonna go into downloads. Then we're gonna go down and we're gonna select MySQL community downloads. Okay, once we are here, we can see so many MySQL programs. In this case, we just want to go for the installer, which it will automatically download the programs we want to use. Okay, in this website you can see there are two options. One is obviously bigger than the other one. This 420.6 megabytes is containing all the programs we saw before. That's they are already there, but in my case I'm going to use this 24.4 megabytes. We will pick and choose the programs we want to install, basically. Okay, so I click downloading here. You can log into your Oracle, but in my case I'm just gonna say just start my downloads. We already got here. That was really quick. Let me open it here, and then double click. So automatically, let me put it down. Okay, so you need to follow these steps because you might find a lot of trouble if you don't follow these steps, as there are so many options that you can choose, and obviously it might not work with your Python version, so be very careful with that. So now we're gonna go into custom because we want to pick and choose. Now we got MySQL server. We're gonna need that as a server running to add, to delete, to update fields. So in my case, you need to displace MySQL server 8.0. I always recommend to use the latest one because that's the one it's got less bugs, basically. So once we select the version we want, we go into this arrow, which is now before it was gray, now it's green, and then you can see it goes into the other side where it says product to be installed. Okay, so now that we have MySQL server, now we're gonna go into applications. In this case, we're gonna use MySQL Workbench. And so this is a very useful tool that you can obviously see the tables, you can add fields, you can add the primary keys, the secondary keys, or you can update from that. Yeah, so I'll be having more videos about this, but now we need to install the basic programs we're gonna use in the long future. Okay, so now we're gonna, once again, because we use the 8.020 version, we're gonna go into the Workbench in my case, and then we're gonna choose 8.0.20. Then we go into this green arrow again, and then we send it to be installed. Okay, now that we got these two, I also want to comment that we got in documentation, you got samples, you can have like tables or database already done, but in my case I don't want to use it because we will be using it from scratch. Okay, so now that we got these two products to be installed, we click next. In here obviously we need this Microsoft Visual C++ 2019, so we're gonna click execute. It will automatically download. It shouldn't take longer, so that should be okay. And it's basically because I'm using Windows Sandbox, as you can see here. And Windows Sandbox is a fresh copy of Windows, but it doesn't have anything installed. So like I said on my previous video where I was showing you how not to install malware into your host, you can see how easy it is to use Windows Sandbox and use any of the distribution you can want. Okay, so once it says installation done, we're gonna click next, and then we're gonna ready to download. That might take like a minute or so, but that's okay. As you can see, it's downloading my SQL server. because like I said before, we're gonna be using that as a main server running, where we can access tables, or yeah, basically we can create different applications from that. And then also MySQL Workbench is gonna be like utility or like a tool that you will be able to open the tables, or to change values, or access any other fields that you have on your database. Okay, so as you can see, Workbench is very light. MySQL Server is light as well. Obviously, you got so many options out there. You can have this SQL Lite 3, or NoSQL, or MongoDB. So different ones, which I'm planning to have different videos about it. So we'll go first with this MySQL. I'll show you, and then once we kind of dominate this MySQL, we might jump into MongoDB, which is a NoSQL database. Yeah. Okay, so that's finished. 95, 96, 700%. Downloading. Then obviously the next step will be installing it, which should be very, very quick. And installing it 24, 25. So yeah, 74. Now we got the SQL Server. Gonna see how long it takes. It shouldn't take longer, to be honest. It should be quite quick. So we're gonna wait a little bit, and then let's see. So as you can see, that was really quick. Workbench is completely installed, and obviously MySQL Server, it is the same. Okay, so once we got it here, we're gonna click next. So we wait for responding that. MySQL ready to configure. Okay, that's very, very important. Okay, now we got two options. Yeah, so standalone MySQL server or cluster. In my case, we're gonna use this standalone server. Yeah, if you go to different database or different configurations, you might use this cluster. But for our proportion, for our purpose, in this case, we're gonna use standalone. So we're gonna click next. We're gonna leave it like that because in my case, or in your case as well, if you're following this tutorial, we want to use development computer. We're gonna leave these ports, which are fine, are open for us, so no problem at all. So we're gonna click next. And here, I always recommend the security is very, very important. So in my case, we're gonna use strong password. Okay, we're gonna click next. In here is your password. This is very, very important you remember, and obviously you put a strong password, which in the other videos I will be storing on our environment variables on Windows, so they are completely safe. Okay, so in my case now, for the purpose, I'm gonna put a very simple password. Okay, so once that, very weak, exactly, but at the moment it's fine. So we're gonna click next. Then very important to note what your Windows service name will be, yeah, because that will be running once we start it. Obviously, I will recommend, obviously, if you're running 24/7, your MySQL server, always start at the startup, and we click next. And then obviously we execute that. So it's just basically, it will apply what we will have selected. And the most important thing is the password that it will be applied for our either Workbench and our server. So this says the configuration for MySQL server was successful, continue. So we click finish, and then we'll now work through configuration wizard, next, and finish. Okay. So as you can see now, automatically what we have open is the Workbench, and in here, as you can see, it says local instance of MySQL 80, which is, that was the name of my SQL server. Okay, it says root, and it says localhost, which is basically we will be running it on our machine, and then our port. So then what we have to do if we want to open the Workbench is double click, and then this Windows will pop up, and then all we have to do is type our password we put before. That's why I said it was very, very important. Notice as well that we got the user is root, So basically the most super user, yeah. And then obviously now we got the password, I type it, and then your service, if you want to notice as well, very important to know, MySQL at localhost semicolon 3306. Okay, so then we click OK, and then it will automatically display, as you can see, different windows, which it might look to you very difficult, but they are not, to be honest. So in schemas, in here is where we will be adding our database, yeah, which we'll be using, as I said, with Python first, but I might choose another language as well to show you how easy or how similar are different languages using MySQL. Okay, so this is all I wanted to show you. I hope you really enjoy. I hope obviously you watch more of my videos, because like I said, this is only the first step where we install MySQL server, MySQL Workbench, and on the next one I'll be opening my Python editor, and we will be creating a database from scratch. And then in the different videos we will be adding different functionalities, like it could be adding records to the database, or updating it, or deleting files, or making changes. Okay, so like I said, thanks for watching my videos, and I hope to see you soon. Take care, and I'll see you. Bye.